Hey guys, this is IX with Rollout Reviews, and it's robot fighting time! A little bit late, because you see, when Hexbug said that these would be available in the fall, I had assumed they meant like mid-October, when actually they meant like mid-September. I didn't even realize these were on shelves until I saw them there myself. And when I did, of course, I had to pick them up. These are the cheapest offering they have available at the moment. They're kind of the size of Hot Wheels, and they're called Push Strike BattleBots. They don't have any electronics, they're not remote controlled, but when you roll them back and forth, their weapons activate, so they should still be pretty fun here. We have the 4 finalists from Season 1, Witch Doctor, Bite Force, Bronco, and Tombstone. So, if you don't know what BattleBots is, it's a reality competition show where roboticists and engineers and makers from all over the globe get together and build robots with the intention of killing other robots, and they compete against each other for the giant nut, which is their trophy. It's kind of ridiculous, but it is amazing and all kinds of entertaining. It's been going on for years, but recently ABC rebooted the series in prime time, which is kind of surprising, and I've been a fan for a long time. I never got any of the toys back in the day, but I intend to make up for that here. Anyway, let's get these guys open and see what they can do. Alright, so we're gonna start with Witch Doctor, who honestly, out of the 4 here, is probably my least favorite, which may be a controversial opinion, because I understand that Witch Doctor has a pretty big fan base for some reason. I don't know, I just don't really like the look of the bot and its color scheme, and the team kind of annoys me. I mean, on screen, at least. I'm sure they're great people. But it is kind of interesting that the robot based on voodoo magic is something that I'm not a fan of, given my love for Bionicle. But, I guess that's just how it is. First, I want to talk about the packaging, which I think is excellent. I know a lot of Hexbugs come in packaging similar to this, but I'm tempted to kind of just display these in the boxes. Like, I'll open them and play around with them, but I think just this, like, battle box floor section here and the dome on top, it looks really nice for display. It says, it's robot fighting time there below. Witch Doctor, BattleBots, of course. On the bottom here, you just have some legal blurb, ABC, and a shot of the robot there. Of course, Hex on top. But, I don't know, without further ado, let's crack it open. So, I believe you have 2 bits of tape underneath. There we go. And there we go. From this point, I think it should just slide out. Yeah, just like that. All right. At this point, what waits for us? Huh. Oh, okay. All right. This opens. I've literally never purchased a Hexbug before, so I don't know what to expect. You have instructions here. Let's see what these say, if anything. Blank on the back. And yeah, you just push back and forth, and it does stuff. Okay. So, from there, just like a plastic insert on top, and there's a little bit of like a rubber band securing it there. So I have these little nippers here. I should be able to get those just like that. Okay. Make sure the wheels aren't caught up here. And I think we should be good to go. So here is Witch Doctor. You can see it's got like the bones on the shovel there, the plow. It says Witch Doctor back there, if I can get to focus. There we go. The wheels do seem to be rubber coated, although, yeah, no, they are rubber wheels. Hexbug on the bottom. No switches or anything because I think it's entirely mechanical. Let's see what happens when we roll it. Oop, something's getting caught. Oh, okay, so this wheel is what activates the weapon there. And when that rolls, the little blade on the front spins. As you can see, the blade kind of has like a skull, like a stylized skull printed on it. Not quite as detailed as on the bot itself, of course, but oh well. Anyway, let's see if I can actually get it rolling and get that happening. It's actually a little difficult at first, but kind of have to just understand how the friction works, and yeah, that's pretty much all it does. For size comparison, I don't have anything, but I'll certainly bring something in for the next one here to compare. But anyway, simple enough. That is Witch Doctor. Before we move on to the next one, as promised, here is a comparison with Witch Doctor. This is a standard-sized Hot Wheels here, the Mach 5, and of course it is a race car and not a BattleBot, so the dimensions are a fair bit different, but mass-wise, Witch Doctor is a lot smaller. That said, Witch Doctor is easily the smallest of the 4 bots available right now, so I wonder if they could have included a little shaman to go along with it. Shaman is a little mini bot that drives separately from Witch Doctor and kind of helps it out in the battle box. And I understand why they didn't include one with the remote control version, because 2 bots with 1 remote doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, I don't see any reason why they couldn't have included a shaman with this one, other than the fact that maybe shaman would have been a choking hazard. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to Bite Force. This was the champion of the first season on ABC, and what a deserved championship that was. I think that was one of the best matches in the series so far, and well deserved by this bot. The guy behind it is such a good driver, and I really enjoyed that. Unfortunately, in Season 2, he opted for a completely different robot design, which was just like a larger, recolored Witch Doctor. And unfortunately, I think he was kicked in the shin in Season 2 because the rulings changed and they like prioritized main weapon use instead of just like bashing the other robot and out-driving them. So like his weapon would stop working, and I think that lost him a whole lot of points. Definitely a shame. I am salty, if you couldn't tell. But anyway, let's crack this one open and take a look. Where is my knife? There it is. Again, I think just 2 strips of tape here and here. That comes out just like that. And then this should open. We have our instructions inside. Very similar to Witch Doctor's there, so nothing too fancy. And then let's see how this one is attached. Again, looks just like a rubber band, so let's get our nippers in there. This is a very tough rubber band, or my nippers are getting dull. Either way, set that off to the side. And here is Bite Force. So, of course, the actual bot has treads, and this just has wheels on the bottom. A little bit of a shame. There is no remote control Bite Force in this first wave, and I can see why, because I feel like on a remote control version, the treads would be hard to perfect there. He's got this little piece here that lifts up. It's actually on a spring there, so that is telling of what's to come. It says Aptics there, which is a company behind this bot. And other than that, very, very simple. Oh! Okay, so I thought that this would be connected to the rolling, just like the other one, and it seemed that way on the instructions, albeit I didn't take a look at the instructions too much, but in fact, the function is separate from the rolling feature, which makes a whole lot of sense, and if it kept going up and down after a certain point, you couldn't roll it anymore, so this makes a whole lot more sense. Anyway, you flip that, and it'll flip a bot up with its jaws there. Let's actually try that with Witch Doctor here, see how well that works. So it kind of comes up like that and then flips it over. And you could also kind of balance another bot inside there, and you can roll around with it. So that is pretty good already. We got kind of a good little match going on here. Of course, like I said, they're not remote controlled, so a little bit of that aspect of the show is lost here. But regardless, they're pretty good display pieces, I think, and they are very cheap, only like $5. So yeah, so far I am satisfied with these. Next up is Tombstone, who is just a gnarly bot. It does so much damage, and its track record over the last 2 seasons is insane. Almost a dozen wins to a single loss. Honestly, I'm glad it lost the championship last year because the guy behind Tombstone is a little too arrogant for his own good, and that certainly humbled him. He came into Season 2 with a much better attitude, and given the emphasis on main weapons this year, took it with ease. I suppose with how powerful this bot is, it deserved at least 1 championship. So for the time being, this is our king of the ring. Let's take a look at him. Once again, 2 strips of tape. And should be good to go. All right. Set that off to the side. Take a look at the instructions real quick, if we can. There we go. Anything different here? Yep, I think just like Witch Doctor, you just roll it back and forth, and the front blade here will spin. So, yep, just a rubber band. Is it even worth using the nippers? Let's try just using my box cutter here. That worked well enough. Okay. And there you have it. So, his design is, well, a little bit more of the rubber band stuck in the wheel. There we go. His design is kind of an amalgamation of Season 1 Tombstone and Season 2 Tombstone. Like, the shape is Season 1 Tombstone, but in Season 1 he primarily just had like silver blades of different shapes and sizes, but he had a bunch of different colored blades in Season 2, and this looks a bit more like one of those colored blades, but the shape is a little bit more like Season 1. I don't really know. Maybe they just made the blade red so it was easier to see when it spins. I can't be sure, but let's see. This wheel actually controls the weapon. As you can see, rolling it back and forth spins it just like that, and it should get pretty fast if we roll this guy quick enough. This wheel is not connected to anything. There's kind of like a rubber, well, I guess it's a band, but like a rubber cable that spins it. Works pretty well, I think. Yeah. Again, I think it's kind of weird that it's only on one side, because it does mean the bot kind of wants to fight against you. It kind of pulls left or right. Can't really get it going completely straight well enough, but yeah, that works very well. I think this might just be a sticker on top, so be careful not to scuff that. But otherwise, very cool robot design and a very cool function. Let's test it out against, I don't know, Witch Doctor here. Yeah. That packs a real big punch. So, accurate enough to the show, I suppose. So after further inspection, turns out that this isn't a sticker. It just sort of looks like one. The gray is painted, and that is a tampo detail. So, pretty cool. Anyway, moving on to the final of the 4 bots, we have Bronco, who is a personal favorite of mine. Such a good design, an oldie but a goodie, and while he's seen his fair share of beatings in the last 2 years, he is always loads of fun to watch. His pneumatic flipper is crazy powerful and just sends other bots flying. Anyway, let's take a quick look at his box and open him right up. So, I believe that while Witch Doctor and Tombstone had the rolling action, this guy, like Bite Force, will have kind of a separate action from the rolling feature. But we'll see. Yeah, press down, flipper goes up, and he rolls independently. So that is good to know. Let's release him. Oh, wow. Actually, he's fastened much more securely than the other ones with actual twist ties instead of a rubber band. So, looks like I actually might need the nippers again here. Yeah, there we go. Easy enough. And yep, easy as that. There, oop, bumped the camera, sorry about that. There is Bronco. I think he might be the largest of the 4 bots here. This is Bronco on the side, on the top. Actually, a little tiny detail, Inertia Labs, which is very cool. The flipper is kind of just a silver plastic, but the rest is painted in a very nice silver. And because the function is not attached to his wheels, he rolls very well, just like Bite Force. But if you press here, flipper goes up, just like that. Just sort of a lever system. Very, very simple, but works pretty well, I'd think. I just get underneath and yeah, flip him over just like that. And then of course Bite Force can kind of do the same, but yeah, these flipper guys are pretty fun. Oop, missed him. There we go. And let's see, an arch enemy of his, Tombstone here, can flip him over, but Tombstone is double-sided, so that doesn't work very well. Oh well. Anyway, there is Bronco. Lots of fun, and I think above all else, I'm glad to have this guy in my collection. And of course, once you're done playing with them, you can use the box as a pedestal, and even cover them up on your shelf, which I think is a great display option. Just some great packaging design. And that'll just about do it for the first wave of Push Strike BattleBots. No, they might not be quite as interactive and exciting as the remote control alternatives in the line, but if you're just a casual BattleBots fan that wants some kind of representation of these on your desk, it's a great option. And like I said, they're pretty cheap and they're pretty fun. I hope they do more of these in the future. I'd love to see some classics like Nightmare and Warhead, but also bots like Minotaur or Ice Wave would be really cool. I suppose we'll find out, but until next time, this is IX RolloutIX, signing off.